Season 2, The Unfinished War, Chapter 17, Break-In. Deku drove his golden car 100 feet away from Flashback's main base and stopped. He got out of the car and continued on foot. Deku talked over the communicator given to him in his ear. "This is Deku. I'm ready to infiltrate the base, when ready." A helicopter could be heard from Steamy Stacks. They said to him, "Firing away." The sound of the generator blowing up could be heard from all over and all across the island. The lights shut down in Flashback's base. The electricity was down. "I'm going in." Deku went inside of the base, pulling out his silence pistol. He took out the guards inside the base as he went by, shooting the parts of them that weren't covered in strong armor. He went up the stairs of Flashback's base, checking every room. No one was inside any of them. He opened the doors to the end of the hall. Molly stood next to Flashback's throne, holding a combat assault rifle. Molly put the rifle up to Deku, who stood exactly 5 feet away from Molly. "Molly." "Deku, drop your gun now." "No, I don't think I will. The safety of the island is at stake here after your buddy Flashback attacked an island of ours with people that never attacked you." "You were going to attack us either way. What do you know about safety? You nearly brought down the island." "That was a long time ago. I have more control now. I couldn't control myself over Death Defier's death, and the symbiote took control of me." "And who saved you?" "Flashback. Who's rebuilding the island after what you did?" "He's trying to be emperor, Molly! Can you not see that?" "It's better than you trying to be king of it." "Where is he?" "Gone. Not here." "I need to find him. Tell me where he is." "No." Molly threw a grenade at Deku, who ducked out of the way and hid behind a metal table as Molly fired his gun at the table. As Molly did this, Deku spoke to his communicator. "Blow the bloody base up! Do it!" Outside the base, from the sky, 5 helicopters and 30 planes, all from the agency, flew to Flashback's base and began firing. The whole building began to shake, distracting Molly from firing at the table with Deku behind. Deku took the chance to shoot Molly in the arm and went up to him, taking his gun. Molly fell on the ground in pain as the building began to fall. "Sorry, Molly. You leave me no choice." "You monster." "Don't worry, I'm not leaving you here." Deku grabbed Molly and went to a window at the base, breaking it. The helicopter saw him holding Molly and went to the window. He jumped on and they flew away from the crumbling base, watching it fall. It crumbled down into a cloud of dust, multiple times exploding as it did it. "What have you done? You always bring destruction with you." Yeah. The helicopter flew towards the ground away from the base, landing with all the planes and helicopters. All the agents scanned the area, seeing that they were safe. Deku stepped out of the helicopter as agents came to take Molly away. "Make sure you watch him. He's on the wrong side." Deku saw something Molly left on the helicopter. A phone with the video of Flashback playing. Deku grabbed it and looked at it. Flashback held a gun to the head of Violet. "Deku, good to see you survived. You know the drill. Get to your base now, or she dies. I'll be in your meeting room. Tell no one." Deku put the phone in his pocket and jumped inside a plane belonging to a pilot and flew into the sky while the pilot shouted at him from below. When Deku reached the agency's base, he landed it and walked inside, straight into the hallway as all the workers stopped to look at him. He was covered in dust and cut all over, bleeding. A grabbed Deku's arm. "Deku, what are you doing?" "Let go of me, A." "Deku, what did he do?" I can't tell you." "All right. Be careful." They let go of Deku and Deku made it to the door of the meeting room. He kicked down the door and saw Flashback sitting at the end of the table in A's chair. with a gun to Violet's head, who also sat in a chair next to Flashback. Death Defier's hat laid on the table. Put the gun down, Deku. Deku threw the gun away. Please, sit. He sat down in the chair. So, Deku, it's been a while. Good to see you. You bloody... Listen, Deku. You want to know how I found this base? It's simple, really. There was one agent who survived the attack on Jonesy's Island. He was shot by one of my snipers, but before that he pinged his location using his phone, which gave a ping directly to your base, telling your agency what happened to Jonesy's Island, which is how you knew what happened here. The phone survived, and since it pinged directly to this base, I just followed the trail after I took the phone. So, here I am. Deku sat in silence and anger. The outside of your base is an interesting symbol. Your agency would have seen me walk in, if it weren't for the fact that you forgot my ability to not be seen. Each time we fought and I stuck up on you, fighting that symbiote and I was hiding behind an obviously seen rock, I used that ability. Some call it invisibility. I call it something better. Power. True stealth. It only works once every, 5 months? I thought it would be perfect. Lower the gun, Flashback. Why would I do that? Your base is gone. Your empire is destroyed. There's no point. So drop the gun. Your ability to convince people to do what you want is interesting. It just seems like I'm the one person that won't work on Deku. Violet pushed Flashback's arm up right before he could fire the gun, and kicked him away, handing Deku her pistol. Flashback fired his gun into her chest. No! Deku yelled, shooting Flashback in the head, regardless of him knowing that Flashback would immediately heal after. He grabbed Violet and brought her to the medical bay. Operate, now! I don't care what you have to do, just do it! The workers in the room looked confused, yet took her to the surgery room immediately. A walked inside. Deku, what happened? Watch her, please. I need to finish this. Deku went back into the room. Flashback was gone. He looked up above him and saw Flashback in the room, on the roof, who came down and punched Deku in the face, sending Deku down onto the ground. Flashback jumped down to the ground as well, standing above him. Deku, I believe it's time for you to finally die. No thanks. Deku stood up and took out the pickaxe he grabbed from his basement and hit Flashback in the head, instantly knocking him out with such a force, throwing him against the wall. Deku grabbed Flashback and went to the brig, throwing him in a cell and locking the door. Flashback muttered, You made me do it. You and your wars. Deku went back to the medical bay. He stood next to A and watched as they pulled the bullet out and attempted to stabilize Violet. The doctor said, She'll be okay. Both A and Deku sighed in relief. Hey, what happened to Flashback? He's in the brig. All right then. What about the rest of the members of his empire? I have no idea where they are. Meanwhile in Kevolution Industries, Knight, Cletus, and Bruce met. Our empire has fallen, but I was expected. Knight pulled out John Jones's device while speaking. Flashback left this in the base when he told us all to wait for further instruction here at Sting Stacks, where the generator powering his base was attacked. I took the device because I knew his plan would fail. He's too overconfident. Me, I am not. Really? How are you any less? Because I have a better plan. Knight stepped out of the building of Kevolution Industries and shook the device, throwing it into the air. Bruce and Cletus followed her out. Soon, Another version of Carnage stood there, coming from the device. Then a second, third, fourth, 10 of them, 20, 100, an army of Carnage symbiotes. Night yelled over the sound of all the carnages and roaring. Flashback thought his own power was good enough. He actually wanted some form of peace on the island. Me? No, I wanted chaos and power in Deku's agency and Flashback's empire. Both fell, so I'm building my own. And I have more powerful army than anyone on this island before. All of these Carnage symbiotes were told how much they would die, and chose to cause as much destruction as possible than to die by Eddie Brock and his venom. You, Cletus, join me, and Bruce, come, we could still use your weapons. Cletus transformed into Carnage and walked up to Night, standing next to her without any sign of resistance, knowing there was nothing left for him but this. Bruce? You actually think I was working with Flashback willingly? The Batmobile auto-drived to Bruce. What Deku did was something I have done before, out of grief. Sure, most of it was his fault, but not all, and Flashback's empire wasn't any better. So, I'm sorry, but I'm out. You stand in front of over 100 Carnage symbiotes, and you don't fear it. A single one of them. Impressive. But it doesn't mean I'll let you go because of it. Bruce jumped inside of his Batmobile and automatically drove away at its fastest speeds as he changed into his Batsuit. As he did this, he looked behind him. All of the symbiotes chased him, roaring and yelling after him. Turn up the speed, Alfred! The car's boosters turned on. It was going to be a long drive. That was Season 2, The Unfinished War, Chapter 17, Break-In. My longest episode. And the funny thing is, my last episode was my shortest episode. But there's a lot more to come. I'll see you in the next episode. Stay tuned for it. Bye-bye.